Well, at the end of day one at Headingley, it's time for Ask George. So hello, George. What did you make of today's action?
I thought it was quite attritional, but I thought that was okay because there's been a lot of talk about how aggressive and sort of gung-ho, for want of a better expression, England were going to be. And actually, I thought they got it just right, in the conditions. You've got to play to the conditions. I thought Daryl Mitchell is, surely going to be a player of the series. And I feel I've seen a lot of Mitchell and Blundell batting together.
Well, Ben starts right on the topic of Daryl Mitchell. He asks, it's annoying that Stokes didn't do the whole guy is good, let's review it anyway for Mitchell. Was it a staggering missed review, in your opinion?
I mean, it's easy to be wise after the time, isn't it? I don't know where Stokes was. Was he mid-off or mid-on or something? So you're going to be reliant on other people, aren't you? It did look as if Stokes made the call there that he just didn't think it was hitting. So he got it wrong. And given that it was Mitchell, and given how well he's played, and it's not like he's been lucky, really. He's just looked fantastic all series. Yeah, in retrospect, you bet he's kicking himself right now. It was a big moment. There's no way around it.
Is that something that Stokes might have to consider, do you think? Kind of where he puts himself in the field now that he's got the additional responsibility as captain?
I mean, these things are going to happen. I don't think any of them get it right all the time. And I think you've got to be very reliant on the people around you. So it looked to me as if Stokes was keen to review, but I might be wrong. And it might equally be that Stokes was saying, no, don't review. So you've got to rely on your keeper and bowler a lot. And, they got that one wrong. But it does happen. I don't know that it means anything has to change drastically.
Well, Dave Strudland asks about the other big talking point of the day, which is Henry Nicholls' dismissal. He asks, is that the strangest dismissal ever caught on TV?
Well, it's up there. Well, there are a couple of others, and you'll remember them when you're reminded. You remember Adam Zampa. Who did he run out? So the ball he's bowling in the Big Bash, wasn't it? And the ball gets struck back at the non-striker, whose bat it hits, bounces into Zampa's nose, and the ball cannons onto the stumps and runs out the batter. Breaks his nose as well. I mean, it was quite... So there's that one. And Andrew Simons has a dismissal almost identical to this one in an ODI against Sri Lanka. So have a look at them on YouTube, or maybe I'll tweet them if I remember later. But yeah, you're right. I mean, it's right up there. Luke Ronke there, the New Zealand batting coach, was saying that Henry Nicholls they gave him a wide berth for a while in the dressing room when he got back. It was deeply unlucky, wasn't it? And very typical of Mitchell to middle, even that. That's the sort of series he's having.
Yeah, I did like the umpire's evasive action. I feel like if he'd been 1 foot to the side, it would have been a very different scenario.
Well, seriously though, umpires are going to have to, and bowlers are going to have to start wearing protective equipment, aren't they?
Danny asks, should Jack Leach move to Yorkshire?
I don't get that. Why? Because he got lots of bowling.
Perhaps.
Is that? Or I mean, was it for the temperate climate, for Leeds nightlife? I mean, all these things are good. No idea. I mean, Don Bested, how's it working for him? I don't think so. No, I think he's Somerset through and through, isn't he? And they love him in Taunton. We love him in Taunton. And no, he's no need to go anywhere. To be honest, I'm probably missing the joke. I don't really get the question.
It's gone over my head as well, so we'll move on. Greg Boone asks, with Potts looking assured and Robinson, fitness permitting, taking to Test cricket well, have England got glimpses of a life without Broad and Anderson?
Well, that's a very positive question. I mean, there's quite a big caveat about Robinson, isn't there? I mean, when was the last time he played? I mean, he played in Hobart, didn't he? He bowled, 4 overs or something. So I don't know that we could... I mean, he looks good. So that's something that's really encouraging, isn't it? But I think his fitness is a real worry. Look, I think the ones you were thinking England were going to build the future around Jofra, definitely. And, who knows who else. But the injury concerns for Jofra and Ollie Stone and Mark Wood are such that who knows how many tests you'll get out of them. If you were spread betting on that, would you go over 10 on all three of them? Really? I mean, is that a bit depressing? Tell me what the figure should be. Would you go over 20 for all three of them? Maybe that's it. I don't think you would.
I'm an optimist.
Okay, so would you? You'd go over 20?
Probably.
You reckon that Jofra, Ollie Stone and Mark Wood will play more than 20 tests between them from here? Okay. Well, I hope you're right, because that would obviously be a really, really, really nice story for all of them. But, there are so many other alternatives now, apart from playing Test cricket, with Jofra in particular been such a good white ball bowler. You wonder what he'll decide. I've no idea. I mean, I think he's got a real passion for the red ball game, so he might well, come back and want to do that. But so I think it's a bit early to say this, but the tone of the question's right about Potts. He's done everything right. I thought it was a very mature performance today. I don't know what he conceded, 1.6 and over or something. I thought that was a really good effort on a surface giving him very little. And I actually thought Jamie Overton did pretty well. I didn't think the conditions gave him anything. He did get up to 90 miles an hour. Looked a wee bit nervous at times, but he swung the ball as well. I thought it was a promising start. So it's asking a lot for anyone to fill the boots of Anderson abroad, eh? But, he's probably right the more I think about it, that maybe you can see the nucleus of a new attack emerging. But I worry about Ollie Robinson because there's so much there to like. But the fitness problems seem a little bit endless, and there was a worry about exactly what that back thing was. I really hope it turns out not to be another stress fracture, but he did show that he had all the skills to be able to do it.
And the final question comes from Will Cooling. He asks, do you have any thoughts on the 60 and having the alternative short form competition to be a sharp introduction to cricket?
I don't have anything against it. I mean, 10 over cricket isn't all that new. I do enjoy it. I enjoy all the cricket, really. All I would say with that is it's getting a bit close to six-a-side. I don't know that cricket needs gimmicks. That's all. I just don't think it needs it. In the race to be uncomplicated, I found the 100 to get really bloody complicated. I just remember a briefing before the 100 started where they were explaining a changed algorithm. I'm thinking, nothing says simplicity like a changed algorithm. And maybe it was a little bit the same with this. It wasn't the idea of playing out over 60 balls is absolutely fine. If that's the time that people have free to go and watch it in the evening, and maybe you can get more games in, then fair play. But I can't remember what some of the other innovations, for want of a better word, were. And I don't know. Just it never. It's still got to be cricket. I still think it's got to be 11 aside. Maybe I've got that wrong. Remind me of what the innovations were. Was it you only have 5 or 6 wickets?
The main one I remember is the crowd being able to vote for a free hit. That was the one that really caught my eye.
That as well. I mean, presumably a home crowd is going to be quite an advantage in that situation. But I get, fine. As I say, I've got nothing against it at all. I really like all forms of cricket, including the 100, by the way. I thought it was really good fun. And the blast has been absolutely fantastic in the last few days, hasn't it? It's been brilliant entertainment. But why have only 5 or 6 people batting, and why have those sorts of innovations? I don't know. Cricket's a really bloody good game. I don't know that it needs people to radically try and change it. It's been quite good for quite a long time in quite a lot of different ways. But maybe I'm just a, very boring, out of touch fella. I'm one who needs to go to sleep very badly. Look at me, I look awful. And a haircut. Anyway, that's neither here nor there.